Hey there, welcome back to Practical AutoCAD and Inventor. Today we're going to be looking at the Plotstamp command. A Plotstamp is a line of text that is automatically added to a printed drawing or a plot that includes information like the drawing name, date, time, and potentially other relevant details. It's used to help identify which version of a drawing is the most current and to track details about the plot itself. Here we go. One valuable addition to any plotted drawing, whether it's a PDF or a traditional paper drawing, is to have a plot stamp. The plot stamp includes information that will help identify the plot to make sure that everybody looking at it, if you're in different locations, is using the same set of plans with the same set of information. To set up the plot stamp, you can simply use the plot stamp command by typing it in at the command line. Once you type in Plotstamp at the command line, it's going to bring up this dialog box where you can set up, save, import, and export your plot stamps. So the plot details that are here, the sample plot details are here. The drawing name, the layout name, date and time, login name, device name, paper size, and plot scale. Now, you don't necessarily need all of these, and the ones that you choose to have will be determined by what's important to your company or your business. So for mine, I have the drawing name, the date and time. I'm going to also include the login name. That way we know who printed it and who was the last person to work on it. You can also choose the device name if you want to see where they were perhaps in the business. I'm going to uncheck that one. You can see what it's going to do is it shows you here in the preview window what it's going to look like. And of course, these are just mock numbers. They don't necessarily have anything to do with the real value there. Now, down here, you can also come in and add user-selected fields if you want to. So if there's something unique to your company, you can create those user-selected fields and you can add them in there. Perhaps it's a job cost analysis or having something to do like that. After you have that done, you can go to the Advanced button down here at the bottom, and it brings up a second box with advanced options where you can tell it where you want it placed and how you want it to look. So for example, the default is bottom left, but on this drawing, I want to say, oh no, let's put it in the bottom right. And instead of horizontal, I want to make it vertical. Then I can come in and I can say, how far do I want my X and my Y offsets to be? So my X offset, of course, is the horizontal. My Y offset is vertical. I'm going to change my X offset to 0.25 and my Y offset, just to be a little bit odd, I'll make it 0.75. And you'll see that it's offset relative to the printable area, which on my page setup is the actual edge of the paper because I'm using a full bleed PDF. I can also come in here and change the text style or the font actually if I want to, and I can change the height. So I'm going to make this much smaller. I'm going to make it 0.06, about a 1/16 of an inch tall. And then I'll choose OK. Oh, one other thing. If you want to create a plot log, which is maybe important for the CAD manager to see who's plotting and why, you can check this box. If you don't want that, you can uncheck that box there. It won't include it in the plot log. Now looking here, you'll see on my preview window that it has changed that plot location. The last thing that you may want to do is to save this to a plot file, so a plot stamp file, so that you don't have to make these changes. If you go to a different computer, you can simply import this plot stamp file and it will be consistent throughout the entire drawing. So if I choose Save As, for example, it will allow me to save it wherever I want to save it. I'm simply going to save it on the desktop just to make it easy, and I will call it Sample Plot Stamp. Okay, you'll notice that it gives it a PSS file, so that's my plot stamp style file, and then I'll choose Save. And now I've saved that to that file. If at some time I was working on a different computer, I could go to, maybe I saved it on a network, I could go and I could simply load that. That way it'd have all the same settings. It would always look the same. But now that I'm done, I'll choose OK. Now the plot stamp doesn't actually show up in the drawing. It only shows up in the plot. So to see the plot stamp itself, you'll have to go to the plot menu. And I'm just going to say, oh, I don't want to update. I'm going to skip that update there. And when I go to my plot menu here, It's saying, hey, how do you want to plot this? So I've already chosen DWG to PDF, and I've got my Plotstamp style, or my plot style table imported. But the one thing that I want to do down here now is I want to turn my Plotstamp on. When I turn my Plotstamp on, you'll see that this little button comes up, which is my Plotstamp settings. If I pick that, it simply brings me back to that where I can set it. But because I've already got it chosen, it's not going to let me choose it here. I could actually load a different one, but you'll see here that it is the one that I just created a few moments ago, so I'm going to cancel that. And then, of course, you want to preview it. So I'll choose Preview, and you'll see now that my Plotstamp is down in the bottom right in the vertical orientation. It's 1/4 of an inch away from the edge and 3/4 of an inch away that way. And if I zoom up in here, you'll see that it's got information about the device and who did it and all that kind of stuff. So now that when I plot this, if I want to save that, everybody will see who it was, and we can all kind of verify that we're working on the same project.